Chilly morning. Beautiful though. I like that the Lord makes my set from my talkings. A beautiful blue sky. Hope I don't get sprayed today. Blessed Sunday. Amen. Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are at it again. Not that the Conservatives would have been any better at all, or any party that's out there. The whole political system is it's just a mess. It's broken fundamentally. So I think the infrastructure bill would have been passed through the Conservatives and pissed away just the same as it was with Justin. They have a goal right now. Doesn't matter which political side you go to. These guys have been groomed to get there. In order to get to the top, you have to do certain things to get there. And then, so once you're there, they own you in some way or another. And they're all reporting to the same leaders, the Rothschilds, as far as my investigations can see. I don't know. There could be somebody above the Rothschild family, but I don't think so. It's, they own the bank. They own the money. Whoever owns the money makes the rules. The lender is always slave to the borrower. And we borrow. They print the money. They own the Federal Reserve, and they own Canada's money. They own Britain's money. They own all the money except for the places that America went to war with after 9/11. Those were the only places on earth that didn't, like the Taliban and stuff. And now the Taliban is using their money system, so they're allowed to take back power, and it's fine. It has nothing to do with how you treat people. Look at Africa and stuff like that. They don't give a shit how you treat your citizens as long as you use their money system. You don't try to back your dollar with gold or something like that. Fort Knox is empty. People think that it's still there and that the Federal Reserve has something to do with the federal bank or the federal government. Doesn't. They just give it names like that to make you think that way. That's the whole thing that they've done in the past. They had a big Balfour agreement there. No, they had a meeting. I can't remember what the hell the name of it was now. But that's where the Balfour arrangement was made. But they came up with this big plan. Anyway, way the hell back. And they've been driving for it ever since. And so they let the politicians do whatever the hell they want as small little shit here and there. But if it affects the big plan, or if the big plan needs something initiated, the word comes down from the top, and they just do whatever it is that they're told. Like, they have no say. Woodrow Wilson ran on a platform of not going to war in the Second World War, and then as soon as he got voted in, he went straight to the war within 2 months. Right? Joe Biden got elected as being the relaxed, back to the same old shit president, where he wasn't going to do anything. He was going to be Sleepy Joe or whatever, and just kind of go with the pace, the normal flow. And within the first weeks of his presidency, he signed away more bills and stuff than any president in history. And it's because their plan at the top, the Rothschild families, and I'm sure there's more than just them. The Rockefellers are their muscle, or used to be. That was the old school way, but Andrew Jackson, President Andrew Jackson, put an end to that, I think, way back then. His vice president shot the muscle that came to do negotiations. They had a showdown, and they paced apart from each other and did a draw, and he won and shot him, and then they totally kicked him out of America until Andrew Jackson died, and then they just came right back in with Woodrow Wilson. Actually, I'm pretty sure he was the one that signed them all in. He said it was his worst regret. But he just got fooled. And they fool everybody. It's easy to manipulate a single man when you have that much money and power and time. And when a man has that much time, free time on his hands, like when you start getting up into celebrity, politician-wise, your days get emptier. So you got this free time to think and whatever, and you're not really working, and that kind of boredom can really take a guy over and lead you down a bad road. Been there. If you're not with God, if you don't have God with you, then who knows what kind of paths you'll lead down when you're boredom, and then you just become more and more easily to manipulate once you start making mistakes. So these political douchebags all just need to be fired, and really, I think, tried for treason and put into military prison, or have their citizenship taken away. Canada, we could show the world how to fix its government and still go back to its original, what the citizens wanted originally, what we all strived for and what we still strive for. And they tell us all this division shit on the media and the news and all these lies, and they fuel all this stuff, and people buy it up. A lot of people, I know people, have had these conversations, one-on-ones with people, and group on me, and they do. They think that a lot of it's real. But once they're presented with the other side, when you show them the real information, they most of them will come around, and they don't stay in denial. Some people do, but some people defend their brainwashing. But not most. And whatever. Super good if we could fix it that way, rather than letting them self-destruct. That's going to cost a lot of lives. And especially as the mid-level rich start to lose everything. These guys that brag about their stock portfolios and their, this and that's, and I own this and I own that and I own this and I own that and I did this and I made that and blah blah blah, set up all this stuff for myself and my family and my grandkids, and they're going to find out that all that was just a waste of time as we start leading down into a depression. And those guys are arrogant, a lot of them, and so that when they start to see what's really, they're going to lose their shit. But it's not going to matter. It's going to be too late by the time they start losing their shit up here, because they'll have lost their fucking finances. Like, that stock portfolio is just going to be a pile of paper that you might as well light a fire with. Keep yourself warm tonight, because it's just once the market goes, so there goes your retirements and all your plans and all that stuff, and people that, they've suspended land ownership in the States, people are going to just start losing all these properties, losing all these businesses. Our economic system is a trickle-down system, so it all, and then at the same time, these governments are just spending money. Justin Trudeau, I just was watching this morning, he's into pretty close to $1 trillion infrastructure bill, just like the States is doing, and they're doing multiple $1 trillion, but Canada's not as big as them, so $1 trillion to us is huge. And it is to the States too, to be an extra $1 trillion into debt. And they've asked for like a list, what you're spending the money on. Just send us a list of all the different constructions that are going on and dollars, so you count for all the dollars that are missing. And you expect a little bit to be missing off the here and there, right? Half. Tens of billions of dollars. Half of it's gone. They can't even, nobody can find it. It's just, whoops, that's gone. Justin just signed over $500 million to his wife's charity. It was a big old, it must have been a hummingbird. To his wife's charity. That his wife, his mother, and his brother-in-law, they all extort money through out of millions of dollars of expenses for a charity. That's crazy. Anyway, that's our system. People are in denial about it. It's kind of funny to watch. In one way, and it kind of sucks in another way, but at the same time, it wasn't working. It was getting worse and worse. The monopolies were getting bigger and bigger, and the laws were getting more and more manipulated, and news agencies, all that kind of stuff, owned by all the wrong people, perpetrating the wrong ideas. It's the school system's all messed up and broken. They always say that we don't like the word lie. We don't lie to our students. We misrepresent the truth. Fucking weasels. And do they ever misrepresent the truth? Big time. But if you learn, I can hold my ground against university graduates who think that they know things, top of their class kind of people, geologists and things like that, and biology students, and especially geologists and earth science, though. Send them back to their professors, wondering why their science is so fucked up and broken and full of holes that the professor said was so perfect, taught them that it was flawless and whatever else. Biblical, basically. There's only one thing that's biblical, and that's the Bible. Anything else that claims to be is just bullshitting you. And if you actually look into real biology and science and all that kind of stuff, and laws of the universe and laws of thermodynamics and all these kinds of things, you'll find that it all leads back to the Bible. It doesn't lead to this Big Bang theory. That's impossible. And I've done multiple videos, I'm sure, on... Oops, sorry, that was a satanic symbol I just did. Done multiple videos on earth science and how it's all misrepresented and stuff like that, and the Big Bang theory, and how it's the laws of an explosion say that all things will be spinning in the same direction, spread evenly, as they get further from the source, they'll get further from each other until they meet resistance. There's no resistance in space. So everything should be following those laws still, according to the Big Bang Theory. Nothing would ever hit anything or meet anything because it's just going out, and everything would get further from each other. All particles would have the same even amount of space between them and all around them, between the next particle, all the same around it. It's the way explosions work. Now on Earth, the resistance is air. As they flow through the air, it gets slowed down, and then eventually it drops off. And then you would have things fall down, but not in space. Our universe, there shouldn't be any clusters. There shouldn't be, big clusters of moons and planets and stars and all that kind of shit. And gravity can't pull harder than the force of a Big Bang explosion. And wouldn't have had the chance, because after the initial explosion, everything would have been this far apart from the source, which means it would have been this far apart from each other, and this far apart from each other, and getting further from each other as it gets further from the source. So it just would have been everything getting so much further apart and spinning in the same direction. We have whole galaxies spinning in the opposite direction. Entire galaxies. And then we have parts of other galaxies spinning in different directions. And big, vast, empty regions of space with big clusters of planets and stars. And that's to the heliocentric model, which doesn't make any fucking sense on its own when you get into the actual space and shit like that. Anyway, I don't want to talk about all that sciencey stuff. It's just stay political today. As I can. The LGBTQ movement is pretty interesting as well. I think it's cool that they figured out that sexism and racism and all those isms were all dead, so they brought them back. And people are fighting, thinking that they're fighting for gays and lesbians, but they're taking rights away from gays and lesbians and stuff. It's fucked. People are stupid. In most instances, there was no racism until those people came into the room. And then they started to make all these little things into that were nothing, that weren't even there. Nobody else, not only did they not see it, but it was non-existent. They came into the room and made up issues of race that weren't there. And then they perpetrate it and make it into something. And they're switching racism to go the other way against... Which is... I don't know. It's a cool trick when you think about it. Again, it's super intelligent. You got to give them that, if nothing else. Now, not the LGBTQ people. Like, they're just stupid sheep people that think that they're doing righteous things and have no idea how that they're bringing the destruction of their own country and reverting us back into what we were in the 50s. Especially with the gender thing. You say that you can't... It's so confusing because you say that you want women and men to be looked at the same in one sentence, but then you say, if you as a man, me as a man, I like cooking, so that's something that's supposed to be done by a woman, which you say isn't supposed to be done by a woman at the same time when you look at men and women, but you say, oh, well, you like doing that, so you must be a woman. Gender yourself as a woman. And then you don't understand that you're the sexist one. Like you don't understand that you're the one bringing sexism back. Like, how do you not fucking see that? Are you stupid? It's a real question. Because if you didn't, it hurts my head to walk through it all because it's so stupid. If you want women to be doing carpentry and doing traditionally men jobs, and you want that to be thought of as normal, but then you want that woman who's doing a traditional man job to be thought of as a man, as a gender, because she enjoys doing things that are transitionally man things that you don't want to be traditionally man things anymore, but you're definitely going to make it traditionally a man thing, and you're going to say that you're now a man because you enjoy doing a man's job. But don't you dare call it a man's job. Head exploded, right? You guys are fucked. I can't understand how people are getting behind that. But you do, and it's crazy. Have a nice day. Blessed Sunday.